NBA Finals Media Day. That's the head coach, Nick Nurse, without the glasses at the podium talking to the media.
Is that kind of emblematic as to what he does for this team in winning possessions and all that stuff? I think Masai earlier called him the leader of the team. And do you feel that he's sort of the heartbeat here?
Well, I think for sure, you know, he's been probably the leader, you know, since we got here. And again, he's a natural kind of leading type personality. He plays the point guard position. He plays a tough brand of basketball, so that's leading by example, the way you play that way. And you know, the possession you're talking about, you could go back and find a few of those. I think Game 5 or Game 4, I can't remember which one, down in Orlando, he got a rebound late in the game in a one-possession game that kind of sealed the win. It might have been 2 rebounds in the same possession in that thing, and not unlike, you know, Kawhi getting a big offensive rebound in Game 6 here against Milwaukee. So he makes a lot of tough plays, takes charges, blocks out a lot of bigger people, and he does lead by example.
Third row on the left, John.
Coach, John Schumann, NBA.com. How much will your defensive success in this series sort of go beyond the game plan and into your players' ability to react and sort of adapt on the fly and even communicate with each other on the fly?
Remains to be seen, obviously, but I think, you know, just looking back at the series we've played, I think there's been a lot of, you know, I wouldn't say some of the adjustments we made were done, you know, really on the fly, right? Some of that communication that you're talking about that maybe wasn't the exact coverage we were in or coverage we wanted to be in, or somebody would communicate, like you just said, communicate a different deal, a switch or a non-switch or whatever it would be, and just make the next play. And I think against this team, I think against most teams in the NBA, you gotta play that way, especially this time of year. So I would imagine that we're gonna be encountering a few issues, and you're gonna have to figure them out, and maybe a help defender is gonna have to save you at the end, or a helper defender may have to save you, or whatever. But you know, that's you know, defensive stuff starts with a willingness to want to play it, and then a great IQ to want to do it, and then like you said, communication.
Second row on the right to Mark.
Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Hey, Nick.
Hey, Mark.
The other day, Draymond Green went on the record and called himself the best defender ever. I'm wondering what you think and how he compares to one of your guys, Kawhi Leonard, and what it is that makes Kawhi the elite defender that he is.
Well, I would say that both those guys are in the same discussion, right? I always think that there's always a discussion of some guys, and they're right there, and I would say both of them. First of all, you got some physical abilities, you know, some God-given abilities. You got some size, speed, athleticism, quickness. And then you go to the next part of it is, and I always keep saying this, you got a tremendous desire and pride to stop people, right, and make plays and want to infuse your team with enthusiasm to play defense. What was the second part of your question again? Yeah, a lot, and a lot of those things. I think Kawhi again takes a lot of pride in being a two-way player. And that's again really where it starts. You got to want to do it, and then again he's got some IQ. He's got really you know, good body and athleticism. He's got these really big hands that, you know, get in there and snatch the ball away sometimes. And I always say that probably impresses me about him more than anything is when he, you know, the scoring's great and the big baskets are great and all that stuff, but when he makes up his mind to impact a play on the defensive end, and next thing you know, he's got the ball coming the other way and you know, getting maybe a transition bucket. Those are huge momentum plays.
Sixth row on the left to Jeff.
Jeff Zilgett, USA Today. Nick, you've coached in England, you've coached small college ball, G League. What about those experiences prepared you for this, your first NBA head coaching job? And along the way, was there ever a moment that you wondered if it would break your way and you would get to where you wanted to go?
Well, first of all, I think like my goal early in becoming a head coach so young was to find out if I could do it. I just wanted to see if I could be a good head coach and then start learning from head coaching. So all those stops of, I don't know how many years it was, 18, 20 years of being a head coach in, some pretty remote places was still, I think, valuable learning experience for me from just, running and managing the team and being up in front of a team and preparing scouting reports and trying to figure out chemistry and lineups and schemes. I used a lot of it as a testing ground. I remember one year we were a full court pressing team the entire game, and I just wanted to see what that system kind of netted or felt like. And again, like in RGV, we did a lot of testing of things, and it was just all really good, like laboratory, right? So I guess I recommend that. Right, I recommend for any young coach that head coaching experience and being up in front of a team is important.
Second row, Eric Green.
Hey, Nick. Eric Green, The Athletic. Two-part question. First, I'm just curious if you have any memories of the game of Kawhi against the Warriors where he hurt his ankle. And the second part is, at what point or period of this season did you realize that the load management was really going according to plan and you might see the best that this guy has to offer?
I do have memories of that game. I watched the whole game. I think it was yesterday or the day before on tape. So I know it pretty well. It's pretty fresh in my mind.
Anything stand out to you?
Well, no, I'm just, I'm just trying to watch like I do, like any coach does. I'm just trying to watch coverages and things like that I, any things I can pick up that stuck out as far as the way they guarded him and who guarded him and all that kind of stuff. Just trying to gather as much information as you can. And the load management thing, first of all, I'd like to give a lot of credit to Alex McKechnie and his staff. They were, countless hours in preparation and really smart ideas and planning, really, on that to both physically and mentally get Kawhi to where he was able to start playing the way he wanted to play in the playoffs. When did I sense it? I just kind of started getting a feeling about it, and I don't know, after the All-Star break, February, March, I kind of kept thinking that he was holding back a little bit or he was getting his 30 points, but it seemed like he wasn't extending a whole lot of effort some nights to do it. And I was looking and thinking there was another gear maybe coming. And then he said something to the effect of these first 82 are just practice. And then I thought, okay, then he's getting ready to throw it in another gear here pretty soon.
Final question, right side, middle, Tim Reynolds.
Hey, Nick. Tim Reynolds with the AP. Another Kawhi defense question, but him on the offensive end, the Warriors have probably more guys than any other team in the league that can throw an elite body in front of them. They can throw Clay, they can throw Draymond, they're going to throw Andre. I think everybody expects that. How do you kind of anticipate them to defend him? And because he has such an innate knowledge of the defensive end of the floor, does that work to his advantage as an offensive player when he's facing another elite defender?
Well, I think, first of all, I would say, they're gonna probably do something similar to what we're gonna do. There's a lot of bodies that can guard a lot of different people, and I think you in a series are gonna see a lot of different people. And plus, in this game, which these guys probably have maybe, I don't know if they invented they've brought the switching defense to prominence years ago. Then now that so both teams are going to be switching a lot. So matchups naturally, ends up in one possession, 3 different guys are guarding a guy because there's screening going on. So I think both teams probably go in with the mindset of, okay, that's our ideal matchup, and your chance to play primary defender if you don't want to switch some stuff and keep a certain guy on him that's having good luck. And yeah, I just think, any of these guys in the league that are such great scorers, they see so many different schemes and defenses, and as the years tick by, they'll see switching, they'll see denials, they'll see double teams, they'll see, come after one dribble. They'll see all kinds of things that they get used to playing, and I would say probably their knowledge of defense translates to how they would defeat some of that stuff. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
And that was Raptors head coach Nick Nurse. Raptors making their first NBA Finals appearance. Short list of rookie coaches to win a championship. Most recently, 2 guys, Ty Lue and Steve Kerr, this decade. But it has not happened very often. Just the first of many interviews here on CBS Sports HQ. The big guys get the podium. Nick Nurse is a head coach as well. That means Kawhi Leonard at the podium now.
First row.
Stephen Lung, Sportsnet. Kawhi, I'm just curious about, can you take me back to the first memories of when you first played in the finals? Like what kind of nerves there are there, and if you still feel any of those right now?
It's just anxiousness, wanting to get to the game and play. I was young, my first finals, 20, probably second year in the league. And, not knowing really what to expect. But, after that, going into my second one, you pretty much know what to expect. And, we were playing the same team, but it's still the same. It's the same basketball game. It's 5-on-5. Still 2 hoops. So you just got to go out there and play hard and live with the results.
Back in the right side, way in the back.
Kawhi, Jordan Fontaine, Rogers Sportsnet. Just wondering, before coming to Toronto, your impressions of Toronto as a basketball city, and now having played and lived here, have those impressions changed at all?
Now you get to see how it is every day, or, for 41 games. Before you come, their crowd does come out when you're playing here on the road, but I also was on the West, so I only played them once a year. And, like I said, now I'm here for 41 games during the regular season. You get to live in the city, see how, if guys or girls wearing hats, jerseys, how much support is really around the city. And, now in the playoffs, you get to see everybody outside the arena and seeing how, excited they are for the game and how much support is there too. So, it's been an exciting year. Just those, that's what pretty much changed for me, just being able to see it visually. And, like I said, I'm in and out during the regular season.
Second row on the right, Mark.
Kawhi, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. Draymond Green recently called himself the best defender of all time. You're right there with him, and you have as many all-defensive appearances and first team as he does. I'm wondering if you could compare yourself on defense to him and talk about what it is that gives you so much ability on that side of the ball.
And I think he should feel that way about himself. You have to come in these games confident and, know what you could do on the floor. But, I don't know how to just compare myself against him. I don't really do that. Just for myself and what I bring to the game, I guess we both bring, we could switch, 1 through 4, 1 through 5 on the floor. Both bring energy to the game. We want to play defense. We want to stop the player in front of us. And, that's pretty much it. He's leading them on that end of the floor as well.
Right side in the middle, the end. Tim, go ahead.
Tim Reynolds with the AP. Kawhi, kind of along the same lines as Mark's question, because you are such a good defensive player, such a great defensive player, how much does that help you on the offensive end, prepare for a game, prepare for a series, and as you try to work through figuring out what the Warriors are going to try to do against you in certain situations?
I mean, I guess that helps me. It just, we might get a steal, help my team get an easy look in transition, or, being able to play defense. We limit them to one shot, probably get a rebound. I mean, come down offense again with some pace. I guess that helps. And, but it's two different sides of basketball. It's not like just because I get a stop, I'm going to make a shot or do a good move.
Because you have such an understanding of the defensive end, do you think that helps you out as an offensive player when you try to figure out what Andre is going to do against you, or what Clay or what Draymond, whoever's in front of you at a given moment?
Not really. I've never really thought of it that way, but maybe. There's good offensive players that are not good defensive players either, or, the other way around. Good defense, not a good offense. So I think it just really comes to being smart and just being in those situations before and just knowing what's going to happen. Going through years of playing and seeing defensive schemes or offensive schemes, and it pretty much helps you watching film and seeing, how they guarded other guys or me in the past.
Same area on the right side. Go to Phil.
Hey, Kawhi. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press, Democrat. I think most coaches and players in this league would put you amongst the very best players in the NBA, but you probably don't have as much popular fame as some other guys like LeBron and Steph Curry. Do you prefer to fly under the radar a little? Does it ever bother you that you don't have as much notoriety as some other guys?
No, I'm not playing the game for that reason. I'm out here playing to have fun and trying to be the best player I could be. And, I'm happy with myself and, what I have done in my career. And I'm just going to keep going from there. It's not about me being famous or want to have more fame than those guys. It's about me playing basketball and having fun on the floor.
Final question, back on the right, Greg.
Hey, Kawhi. Obviously, there's a lot more distractions when you get to this level. We're seeing that today. They're a team that's been here now 5 straight times. They've got guys that have experience. There are a lot of guys in your locker room that don't have experience dealing with this kind of attention, this hoopla, the circus that surrounds the NBA Finals. I know you've been there before. What do you tell the guys? Do you have advice for those guys?
Yeah, most guys been through, been into the Eastern Finals on this team. And, as each series goes, you get more media or, ask more questions about what's going on. But my thing is just, once this is over, it's still between the lines. Playing 5-on-5, like I just told him, we're still playing basketball. We have a scheme. Just focus on that and don't focus on our outside attention. And, we know what we need to do. You're inside this locker room every day, so don't pay attention to people who are not in their locker room.
Thank you.